Top 10 Easy Ways to Connect Your iPhone and Mac for Seamless Integration. Part 1. Hello my dear friends, how are you? I hope you are well and in good health. Today with you is a new and important video, which is the best 10 easy ways to connect your iPhone and your Mac to achieve seamless integration. This topic will consist of 2 parts. The first part is the first 5 ways to connect an iPhone and a Mac. And the second video is the other 5 ways from the 6th method to the 10th method. I hope you like it, but before you watch the video, subscribe to the channel to receive everything new and useful. Now let's continue the explanation. The Apple ecosystem combines most of the apps and features you use on your iPhone, iPad, Mac, and Apple Watch into a cohesive experience that works and behaves similarly. For example, you can take your calls on other devices if you don't have an iPhone, start a draft of mail on your Mac, and end it on your iPhone or iPad. There are so many possibilities it's hard to say that the iPhone and Mac are the 2 Apple devices that benefit most from this ecosystem. If you own an iPhone and a Mac and are looking to pair them together, this post should explain everything you need to know about what to do and how to pair these 2 devices. Pair your iPhone and Mac. What to know: your iPhone can be paired with your Mac, or MacBook, in several ways. The most basic way to connect the 2 devices happens when you initially set up the devices. Yes, the moment you sign into your Apple ID on your iPhone and Mac, the 2 devices are somehow connected via Apple iCloud. With iCloud, you can back up photos from your iPhone and sync passwords, addresses, sensitive information, and all other data from other apps on your iPhone and Mac. When enabled and set up correctly, you'll be able to access the same content on any app you use on any of your devices. In addition to syncing via iCloud, users can transfer files and other content via USB to Lightning cable, via Wi-Fi, or use AirDrop to instantly drag and drop the same items. Apple's ecosystem also allows people to receive and make iPhone calls directly on their Mac, and you can also configure it to receive and send SMS messages on your Mac without using an iPhone. Another way to pair your Mac and iPhone is to use Handoff, a feature that lets you start something on one Apple device and seamlessly pick it up on another. The same feature is what lies behind the Universal Clipboard tool that allows users to copy text, photos, and videos from iPhone to Mac and vice versa. Apple also lets music subscribers sync their audio library across all their devices with Sync Library. Requirements to pair your iPhone with your Mac: you need to make sure you have the following things ready before setting up pairing: an iPhone running the latest version of iOS, a Mac running the latest version of macOS, a valid Apple ID, a wireless network that both your iPhone and Mac can connect to, the USB-A to Lightning cable or USB-C to Lightning cable that came with your iPhone setup. Make sure your iPhone and MacBook use the same Apple ID before you can pair any Apple devices with each other. You need to make sure they're using the same Apple account, that is signed in with the same @iCloud.com email address. This is important because no data will be synced between the 2 devices if they are using separate iCloud accounts, because iCloud is the platform that acts as a bridge between the 2 devices. For this reason, you first need to sign into the same Apple ID on both devices to pair them together. Note the iCloud email and password for the Apple account you actively use before continuing further down this guide. On iPhone, if you haven't signed into any Apple ID on your iPhone yet, you can do so by opening the Settings app and tapping the iPhone sign-in card at the top. Now, enter your Apple ID and password on the next screen, and if prompted, type the 6-digit verification code that should be sent to your phone or other Apple device. If you're already signed into an Apple account but want to use another account to pair your iPhone with your Mac, you'll have to sign out of it. To sign out of your Apple account, open the Settings app and tap your name at the top. Inside the Apple ID screen, scroll down and tap Sign Out. On the next screen, enter your Apple ID password and click Shutdown in the upper right corner. You will now be signed out of your existing Apple account. You can now follow the initial steps in this section to sign into the correct Apple account. On your Mac, if you haven't signed into any Apple ID on your Mac yet, you can do so by opening System Preferences on your Mac from Launchpad, Dock, or Finder. When the System Preferences window appears, click the Sign In option in the upper right corner. Next, enter your Apple ID and password, as well as a 6-digit verification code if prompted. If you're already signed into your Apple account but want to change it to a different iCloud address, you can do so by opening System Preferences and clicking your Apple ID. In the next window, select the Overview tab from the left sidebar, then click Sign Out at the bottom. You will now be signed out of your current Apple account. You can now follow the initial steps in this section to sign into the correct Apple account. How to pair iPhone and Mac. Designed to work closely with other devices in the ecosystem, Apple's iPhone and Mac can be paired in many different ways, most of which work without using a cable to connect the two devices. Method 1. Pair using a wired connection. Before you can sync your iPhone with your Mac, you'll first need to create a wired connection between the two devices. With both your iPhone and Mac turned on, connect them using the USB to Lightning cable that came with your iPhone. Which cable should you use? Some newer Macs come with a USB-C port, while older models use a USB-A port to connect devices. If you own an iPhone 12 or later model, you'll have a USB-C to Lightning cable that should be compatible with recent MacBooks. If you own an iPhone 11 or earlier, you'll have a USB-A to Lightning cable that will work just fine with older generation Macs. If you have a new Mac, an old iPhone, or vice versa, you'll need to find an adapter that connects the two devices. Sync iPhone with Mac. Once you've connected your iPhone to your Mac, you can start things on your Mac by opening the Finder app. Within the Finder app, your iPhone should appear in the left sidebar. If not, it will appear once you click on the Locations section. When your iPhone appears connected, tap it. If this is the first time you've connected your iPhone to your Mac, click Trust Your Mac at the Trust iPhone prompt that appears on the screen. Likewise, a Trust This Computer dialog window will appear on your iPhone to confirm your connection to your Mac. To continue, click Trust. Now, you'll need to enter your device passcode for approval. Once all that is done, you will be able to see your iPhone and all its details inside the Finder. To sync all the data from your iPhone to your Mac, click Sync inside the General tab. To sync selected files and data from your Mac to iPhone, you can select the relevant tabs at the top, and once you're in it, check the Sync to iPhone box at the top. To save backups of your iPhone to your Mac, select Backup all data on your iPhone to this Mac under Backups and click Backup Now. Method 2. Pair your iPhone and Mac via Wi-Fi. If you create a wired connection using Method 1, you'll be able to pair your iPhone to your Mac wirelessly for all feature uses. This works when your iPhone and Mac are connected to the same Wi-Fi network, in which case your Mac will be able to sync data to your iPhone without a physical connection. To set up wireless sync using Wi-Fi, connect your iPhone to your Mac using a USB to Lightning cable as in Method 1. Now, open the Finder app as you did before and select your iPhone from the left sidebar. When your iPhone appears, scroll to the bottom of the screen using the General tab and check the Show this iPhone when connected to Wi-Fi box. After turning this option on, click Apply at the bottom right. Once enabled, your iPhone will continue to appear within the Finder app even if you disconnect its cable from your Mac. If both your Mac and iPhone are connected to Wi-Fi, you can use the on-screen backup or sync options to store iPhone backups on your Mac or sync your Mac files and content to your paired iPhone. Method 3. Pairing using iCloud. Perhaps the most simple and easy way to pair your iPhone and Mac permanently is to use iCloud. When both devices are signed into the same Apple account, you can share all your user data between the two devices wirelessly, even if they're connected to different networks. When you enable and configure iCloud to sync selected content across multiple devices, the data on all of those devices stays the same, helping you pick up where you left off from one device on another. On iPhone, to enable and set up iCloud on your iPhone, open the Settings app and tap your Apple ID at the top. On the next screen, you can turn on iCloud for all apps and services listed on the screen by turning on the toggles next to Apps, Services. If you only want to enable iCloud for specific apps, you can disable the toggle for apps and services that you don't need to sync across other devices. If you want your Mac and other Apple devices to remember passwords and other sensitive information you save on your iPhone, you can tap Keychain on the screen. On the next screen, turn on the iCloud Keychain toggle to pair your iPhone and Mac to keep the password on your Mac. To make sure all content is synced between your iPhone and Mac, You must also enable iCloud on macOS and select the features you want to sync. Go to Apple, *#, menu greater than System Preferences. Inside System Preferences, select Apple ID. When your Apple account is loaded, click the iCloud tab from the left sidebar. In the right panel, you should see a list of services that you can sync via iCloud. To specify which services or apps stay in sync with your Mac, check the box next to them. Some apps also offer customization options that let you select which part of the app gets synced. To configure it your preferred way, click Options on the right side of the selected application and follow the on-screen instructions for further customization. Method 4. Make and receive iPhone calls on Mac. As part of the Apple ecosystem, you can make and receive phone calls right from your Mac if you pair it with your iPhone. This way, you can take important phone calls on your Mac without having to have physical access to your iPhone. This feature requires that both devices use the same Apple ID, be signed into FaceTime using the same Apple ID, and connected to the same Wi-Fi network. On iPhone, to pair your iPhone with your Mac to make phone calls, open the Settings app and select Phone. Inside Phone, tap Calls on Other Devices. On the next screen, turn on the Allow Calls on Other Devices toggle at the top. Once enabled, locate your MacBook or Mac from the list of devices that appears under Allow Calls and turn on the toggles next to the macOS device for which you want to enable phone calls. You can now make calls directly on your Mac without using your iPhone. Apple also allows users to transfer ongoing calls from iPhone to Mac or vice versa. If you want to switch devices mid-call, you can do so by tapping the voice box within the call screen and then selecting your MacBook from the list of available devices. At any time, you can switch back to your iPhone by tapping the same volume box and selecting iPhone from the list. On your Mac, while the above method should enable it on your Mac, you can choose this step to either make sure the phone calling feature is turned on or to enable the feature directly on your Mac without referring to the iPhone guide above. To pair your Mac with your iPhone to make phone calls, open the FaceTime app on your Mac. Once open, click FaceTime from the menu bar and select Preferences. When the Preferences window opens, select the Settings tab at the top and check the Calls from iPhone box. This will route all your incoming calls from your iPhone to your Mac, and you'll also be able to initiate calls from the FaceTime app on that device. To make a phone call on a Mac, open the FaceTime app, then hover over the person you want to call within the Recent Calls list and click the phone icon to the right of the person's name. You can also make calls by selecting a number from Contacts, Calendar, Safari, or any other app available on your Mac. When you receive phone calls, you'll see a banner appear in the upper right corner of your Mac screen. You can click Answer to allow the call to arrive on your Mac. Method 5. Turn on text message forwarding to your Mac. Macs have a Messages app similar to the Messages app on the iPhone, but by default, you'll only be able to send and receive iMessage messages. However, as with phone calls, you can also pair your iPhone with your Mac to receive and respond to all the SMS messages you receive on your iPhone as well in text form. This is possible through a feature Apple calls text message forwarding, which when enabled will allow you to send and receive SMS messages directly on your Mac. On iPhone, to enable text message forwarding, open the Settings app on your iPhone and select Messages. Inside Messages, scroll down and tap Forward Text Messages. On this screen, turn on the toggle next to your Mac. This should route all SMS messages from your iPhone to your Mac. On your Mac, while the above guide is enough to turn on text message forwarding, your Mac's Messages app must be configured to receive messages from all your phone numbers. Open the Messages app on your Mac and go to Messages greater than Preferences from the menu bar at the top. To make sure you're getting messages from your iPhone, tap the iMessage tab at the top and check the boxes next to all the phone numbers under You Can Be Reached for messages on. In the same window, select your primary phone number from the list of options under Start New Conversations from. This will ensure that any response you send from your Mac will be sent via your phone number and not your iCloud email address. Please watch the second part of the video.